Hi, my name is Bill Bimson. I'm interested in this stuff, Thermalite. It's an additive paint mix that you add to paint, and it's supposed to make it insulating so it stops heat loss through the walls or wherever you paint it on. Now the manufacturers claim that it can stop up to 25% of heat loss, which is quite an amazing claim really, and if it really does work then it's worth its weight in gold. But does it work? Maybe not. There are some internet discussion forums on at the moment, and some people claim that this is a total scam, that it doesn't work at all. Others claim that it does work. And some of those who claim that it doesn't work say that those who claim that it does work are actually working for the Thermalite company. So there's a bit of a conspiracy theory going on there. I don't know how true that is, or if it's just, that's total fabrication as well. But I intend to find out. I want to find out if I've wasted my £16 or $22, $23 US on this stuff. I am sceptical about it because when I shake it in the bottle, I don't know if you can see it, it looks like talcum powder to me. I hope that isn't what I bought. But I'm going to find out, so I've devised my own experiment here. What I've got is a 2-foot square here, and I've painted ordinary emulsion paint on that square. Now I'm going to add this stuff to the same paint and paint it on another 2-foot square. Then I'm going to try and measure the heat loss through the wall, because this is an external wall. This is the inside part of an external wall. Let's see if it works. Okay, so here goes. This is less than half a tin, half of a 5-litre tin. So I'm going to only add half of the Thermalite mixture. What does it look like? Let's have a look. Yeah, sort of sugary, sort of talcum powder type stuff. Well, let's see what happens when I mix it in. Okay, I've added about half of the bottle now of the Thermalite mix to see, just maybe a little under half, but I've got less than 2.5 litres of paint here, so I've probably got the right amount of mix in here for their recommendations. Now I'm going to paint the wall. Hi. While I was waiting for the 2 squares to dry completely, I thought I might as well put some paint on the ceiling with the Thermalite additive. I noticed as I was adding the Thermalite additive that it looked grey in colour compared to the white paint. So anyway, I mixed it all up and I put it on the ceiling, and one thing I have found now is that it is going on as a sort of very light grey as opposed to a pure brilliant white. I don't know if this camera's going to pick it up, but I'm going to put some of that paint on now in that corner there. That hasn't got any paint on in that corner at the moment, and you might see that when the Thermalite paint goes on that it isn't actually completely white. Let's have a look. So here's the new Thermalite paint with the additive in the paint. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but I can certainly see that the new paint is darker than the old white. That wasn't on there originally. So if you want a pure brilliant white finish with this Thermalite stuff, it looks like you're going to have to go over it again with some paint which hasn't got the Thermalite additive in. Right, so I've finished painting the ceiling, and it's left it a sort of dirty white colour. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's going to have to be painted again without Thermalite because it's so poor really. There's me 2 squares now of paint. That's just ordinary paint on the left. That's paint with Thermalite additive. And let me first of all, before I take any temperatures, tell you that the outside temperature of the wall, of this wall, is about 13 degrees C. I've just been outside and measured it with a non-contact thermometer. So let's measure outside of the squares first of all. First of all here, 18.5 degrees C, you should be able to see that. Measure here in the middle of the 2 squares, again 18.5 degrees C. And to the left of the 2 squares, once again about 18.5 degrees C. Now let's measure the Thermalite square. And strangely, that's coming in less. That's coming in at 17.8 degrees C. The temperature in the middle of this square is lower than the outside. Measure the one here without the paint. 18.7. So why is that one higher than that one? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, what I'm going to do anyway is raise the temperature of this room, because the main idea of Thermalite is to protect you in winter, to stop the heat loss. And at the moment, the temperature outside only being 13 degrees C, I want to sort of make a big temperature difference, maybe about 15 degrees C, and then measure them two squares, and we'll see what it's like then. Okay, the fan heater's been on for about 20 minutes now, and it feels nice and warm in here. I'm just going to turn the fan heater off. And let's see what temperatures we've got. Okay, let's look at the right hand side first of all. This is right of the square. 23.3 degrees C. In the middle, 22.9 degrees C. And to the left of the squares, again 22.9 degrees C. Let's see what we've got in the middle of the Thermalite square. 22.8 degrees C, 22.5, 22.8, 20. Okay, the one without the Thermalite, 23. Don't believe this. So it's showing that the one without the Thermalite seems to be more insulating than the one with the Thermalite. I mean, that could be within experimental error, of course, but I mean, it is showing, isn't it, that that's the one with the Thermalite. It is showing that Thermalite is not doing its job. It's not insulating at all, as far as I can tell. I mean, let's just take to the right of that. It's 23 degrees centigrade where there's no paint at all. I don't know. It looks to me like Thermalite really doesn't work. Maybe it is a scam. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong here, but you know, that's the best I can do. You know, we've got a 10 degrees C difference between the room temperature and the outside now. So you should see some insulating properties from this, but I'm not seeing it. So, you know, my conclusions are Thermalite doesn't work. It's reasonably expensive as well, and looking at the ceiling, I'm going to have to paint it again because it discolors the paint. You know, it actually makes the paint a little bit darker, so you can't get a brilliant white finish, and it also leaves the paint textured. Now, for me, Thermalite, I won't be buying it again.